Welcome back, everybody. Good evening. Thank y'all for joining me again tonight. So, tonight we're going to finish up the Space Pirate base, get our thermal visor, finally get a new visor, and maybe go fight the next boss. We're going to find out. See how long this comes out to be. Recap from last episode, we headed about halfway through the base, popped into this observatory room, grabbed our super missile, which is going to let us do a lot of cool stuff out in the main world. Once we get the upgrade after that, not the visor, but the next one, we're going to be able to do more cool stuff. So this puts us in a little elevator, access to control tower. Go ahead up here. Out here we're going to get some more fights. This is going to be our first time fighting air pirates in just a moment. We take out the little peons here. We did already scan these guys back in the overworld. Now, as you can see, I can shock them like the regular pirates, but they still fly around. And there, you can see, once you get them to a certain health threshold, they will try to suicide bomb you. One way to prevent that is to just straight blow them up. Oh, wrong button. And as you can see, they stop and fire missiles at you. So, super missile, he's gone. And that's really kind of a waste of a super missile. I'm not going to be using it to take them out like that. I prefer to let them suicide bomb and dodge out of the way. Or that can also happen if I hit them with enough shots. They'll short out and hit the ground, basically. So there you go. Doors open up. Now, a lot of boxes in this room. This box you see here, if I had the thermal visor, does it have a little script on it? It does have a little cool script on it. You see it's glowing. If I was using the thermal visor, that would light up, and if I shoot it, it explodes. For some reason it doesn't destroy the little boxes. Oh well. If we look over this way, come up here. Well, not this one, the other one. You can see these two big towers here. This is the control tower part of the base. So this is where they would be directing air traffic in and out of the base. We come here, and we blow this up. This is some ice we can melt, which gives us a view of something at the base of that tower. There's actually a Chozo artifact up in that tower. One of the ones that my first couple times through the game I had a lot of trouble finding. We'll be back here later for that. So we're going to head back down. This is Research Lab Aether, so this is what that scan last episode was talking about. And in here, we get something cool. Y'all recognize this guy. Finally get a Metroid. So he's gonna try and break out. We're gonna scan him real quick. Energy-based parasitic predator. Dominant species of SR388. That's where Metroid 1 or no, excuse me, that's where Metroid 2 takes place. I checked it, and Zebes is... Metroid 1 and Super Metroid take place on Zebes, and Metroid 2 takes place on SR388. They can suck the life force out of living things, they latch onto its prey and drain energy, grow larger. Only way to shake them off is to enter Morph Ball mode and lay a bomb. So he breaks out. I'm just going to let him latch onto me to show y'all. So he's on my face, sucking out my energy quick, shorts out my visor. If I go into Morph Ball, drop a bomb, he drops off. Now these guys are a little resistant to most of my attacks. They're kind of hard to take out until I get the Ice Beam. But we're just going to Super Missile him. As you can see, he takes a Super Missile right to the face, no problem. And there we go. Now, Space Pirate comes bursting through. Take these guys out. There's more down there, but let's get some scans first. Now, oddly enough, the scan of him remains. It is actually this tank that we scanned. Oh, I'm getting the battle music again. Let's kill these guys and get rid of this battle music. And as you can see, you can bust apart the tanks with missiles. Another Metroid got out, so we're going to take him out too. Now if you hit them with enough shots, they will kind of get stunned, as you see there. They fall down and start shaking. Okay, so that's that. We are going to grab this energy tank. And we're going to head all the way back up and get the scans and make our way back down. First of all, I'm going to grab this missile, which is kind of a tricky missile to get. It's because you gotta go real slow. Apparently I landed on top of the tank. Okay, cool. Didn't know I could do that. Head back up here. This makes me wonder also, because this was a closed window before, so how were they getting up into this part of this room? Getting in and out? Were they surely weren't busting through the glass and then repairing it every time. So, you know, if they had access down here, then this is where this room ends. And accessing this would have only been available from the other side, so it's a little odd. Doesn't make much sense. Pirate data. Initial transfer of Metroids to Talon 4 research facilities has been completed. 3 were terminated in an incident at the landing site, but the others were pacified and transported safely. Initial Phazon infusion testing is underway. We are eager to observe the effects of Phazon on Metroids, especially their ability to absorb and process energy given off by Phazon sources. Early research suggests a considerable growth in power and size. Whether the creatures stay stable thereafter remains to be seen. So, Metroids can absorb energy. They can pretty much suck the life force out of living things, and they can absorb other forms of energy, and they can absorb Phazon directly, essentially. And so the pirates are very interested to see what the Phazon will do to them. No, this one. Here, you can kind of see one of the problems with the scans in this game is it's hard to get an individual scan if there's multiple in the background. Subject Metroid BR 5497, Phazon Infusion Stage 6, mass at 180% of previous cycle, increasing dosage, so the Phazon makes them bigger. Contaminated beyond acceptable safety standards, removal squad requested. Containment temperature at 3 degrees centigrade. Environmental diagnostics satisfactory. Metroid brain scan results in. This is interesting. Studies show accelerated activity in parietal lobe during hunting cycles at temperatures above 10 degrees centigrade. Internal organs of Metroid seem to be limited to nucleonic absorption cells and massive energy reservoirs. So there's not much to Metroids. The reconstruction of Geoform 187, codenamed Ridley, this is the guy we saw back in the Orpheon who flew away from us, was recently completed. After his defeat on Zebes, Command ordered a number of metagenetic improvements for him. Though aggressive, we were able to implement these changes in a cycle. The metamorphosis was painful, but quite successful in the end. Early tests indicated drastic increase in strength, mobility, and offensive capability. Cybernetic modules and armor plating have been added as well. We believe our creation, now called Meta Ridley, will become the mainstay of our security force, a job he will certainly relish. So, after he got defeated, they took him in and upgraded him essentially. Forcibly. He wasn't having too much of a good time with it, but he's much stronger, faster, and more powerful than he was before. Metroid containment fields appear 100% effective after adjustments. Temperatures below 10 degrees centigrade will render Metroids docile. So yes, Metroids are very susceptible to cold. That has always been their weakness. The hooked mandibles of the Metroid penetrate the skin of its prey and siphon pure life force energy. And we'll touch on that later. As energy-based creatures, Metroids show immediate mass increases upon energy absorption, so the more energy they absorb, the bigger they get. And it happens instantaneously. In the event of a Metroid attack, repel creature with missiles set to maximum concussion. So yeah, missiles are also effective against them. All guards must use ice containment gear when transporting Metroids. Includes sedated specimens and those pronounced dead. So, extra precaution. New pirate data. Confidence is high regarding Phazon applications. We know enough about Phazon now to begin combining it with space pirate DNA. The codename for this venture will be Project Helix. Preliminary studies indicate that Phazon infusion could produce radical new pirate genomes. Benevolent mutation levels are high in current test subjects. Phazon madness is a concern, but refinement is in the infusion process should reduce or neutralize the odds of mental degeneration. So, they have started experimenting on themselves with Phazon and trying to, make themselves bigger and tougher and stronger. But they're worried it's going to mentally degenerate themselves. And it does, as we're going to find out later. We will see plenty of pirates that are infused with Phazon later in the game. Metroids infused with Phazon strain Vertigo are thriving. We feel they could be Class 1 energy harvesters if proper submission measures are employed. So there's strain Vertigo again. Now this tank in the middle of the room is interesting. There is, if we look at it, does it give us a scan? Yes. This tank holds the remains of Experiment 7526, conversion of elite pirate unsuccessful. Elite pirate are what they call pirates that were infused with Phazon. So, this is basically, all throughout the tank is the remains in pieces of that pirate. This is his arm with the missile launcher in it. You can see more of his torso basically up there. If I go up here, I bet we can get a better shot of him. Come on down. Oh, these two scans? Yeah, missed these. Motion near Hunter Metroid DG appears to trigger psychotic episodes. Personnel to stay at least 3 meters away from stasis tanks, so Hunter Metroids we will see later. Hunter Metroid DS is showing increased signs of increased instability and heightened immunity to cold dampening fields. So we can kind of get more. Yeah, there you can see his head and his body parts. For some reason, they kept him in a big, tall tank. I don't understand why. And it's all ice encrusted. But yeah, that was one of their first attempts at infusing a pirate with Phazon, and it clearly did not work too well. Stasis tank CO12 is contaminated beyond acceptable safety standards. Remove immediately. These just say empty tank. Extreme radioactive contamination. New pirate data. Metroid dissection continues to prove more questions than answers. Our research teams have isolated the energy conduits that run from the invasive twin mandibles to the energy core in the creature's quadripartite nucleus, but the manner in which a Metroid actually extracts the life force from its prey remains an utter mystery. The victim does not lose blood or any other vital fluids, and yet the Metroid extracts energy. Identifying this energy is our central problem. It takes no physical form, and yet without it the victim dies. We continue to research this matter, as the isolation of this life-giving essence could be the key to our ascendance. So, the Metroids are sucking an energy out of creatures that is undetectable. It's not blood, it's not plasma, it's not energy, any physical thing. The things that they absorb don't appear to, the creatures don't appear to lose anything. Yet they die when they lose all the energy, and they can't figure out what that energy is. And to my knowledge, over the course of the games, we never really do figure out what that is. East Quarantine Cave has been secured. Specimen remains in the quarantine area. All experiments have been suspended pending pacification of area. Quarantine specimen exhibits highly aggressive behavior. Its body structure, composed of phazon ore, appears nearly invulnerable. This has rendered our efforts to train and discipline subject useless. Pirate data. Studies of Metroid biology continue, though with limited progress. It seems likely that we will be much more successful using the Metroids for our means, rather than trying to reproduce their powers. If they could be adequately tamed, we would have no need of a proper understanding of their metabolism. A small force of disciplined Metroids could wipe out entire armies, and once we find a way to shield them from cold contaminant weapons, they will be invincible. Furthermore, if we could harvest the energy they consumed, we would have a near limitless source of power at our disposal. So, they're having a hard time figuring out how Metroids work, and they're basically saying we would probably be more successful just taming them and using them as attack dogs. Project Titan is suspended indefinitely. Security breaches resulting in massive casualties have occurred. Access is strictly prohibited until further notice. So these mentions of Project Titan and the Quarantine Cave and this phazon ore creature is the upcoming boss that we're going to be fighting. So, for some reason they've got boxes piled up on the door. Head down. These are ice beetles. They are different from the regular beetles. Give them a quick scan. They're beetles that live in the ice. Again, nothing special. But they behave a little bit differently than the others. They'll keep burrowing down on you. So as you see, when I blow them up, they explode into little ice chunks, which is kind of odd. Okay. This room. This is where we will find our thermal visor. It is down there. And as you can see, there's Metroids in the tanks and the walls. Okay. Thermal visor interfaces will be sent to quarantine area. These visors will be useful for any personnel involved in transport of the unstable test subject there. Central tank control circuit connection terminated. Too many C's. So we've got to deactivate 3 control units around this room in order to get to that thermal visor. It's a multi-layered room. I don't really like the layout of this room. As you can see, Metroids, you can't break them out. You can scan them. Those tanks don't open. Not manually anyway. Force field network ground object. Hop down here. There are some turrets we need to take out. Okay. This shuts down part 2. Thermal imaging software exceeding initial expectations. Combat applications are being evaluated by command. Field testing in Fendrana region approved. Use of prototype visors by security personnel approved. So that's essentially what this is down here. It is a prototype. It's not meant for us, but because our suit is modular and can absorb technology, we can take it. Thermal vision tests will begin soon. Abnormal heat trace is represented as red when looking through the thermal imaging spectrum. this. Okay, so this is an ice beam door. Leads to a deeper area in the drifts that we can't get to yet. Basically, as soon as I shut this down and pick up the visor, it's going to also shut down the entire power for this whole facility, and I'm going to start being attacked by a bunch of stealth pirates. And all the lights are going to go out in this whole place. But all the computers and all the scans still work, so that's kind of odd. There we go. Power to the door shuts off. Lights go out. There, you see, these are the stealth pirates. You can see them when they're attacking you and kind of when they're moving, but I cannot scan them. Oh, wait, I can... Are you kidding me? I never knew that. So, guys, ignore what I said last time. You can scan these guys anytime you want. That's... I feel dumb now. Okay, whatever. Learn something new every time. So this is the thermal visor. As you can see, they light right up. Now, oddly enough, as you see, the wave beam, which normally tracks enemies, will not track them while you're locked on in the thermal visor. I don't understand why. Just how it is. I really thought you couldn't scan those guys again. I guess I've never actually tried. Well, so these guys break out now. There we go. Couple misses. And this one breaks out. Oh. Super missile took him right out. That's odd. Took a couple hits on the others. Okay. So, as you can see, this door has no power. Power conduit must be energized. I can shoot it, doesn't do anything. If I go to thermal, I can see the power conduit, and then I can shoot it with the wave beam. Sends electricity through the door. Opens it up. This is a security drone. Sentry drone. Well armed and armored. They screw up your visor when you get close. They are weak to electrical attacks. When they see you, they will lock down all the doors in the room. So if I back out, if I fire my gun in the room, it'll activate him. So if I just hit him with a quick shot, takes him right out. I'm going to try and take these guys out without activating them. Oh, well. There we go. So you can see he activates, he starts shooting me with the machine gun. They're not too bad. So now we head back... Where is it? There it is. Back in here. More stealth pirates. And they are running away. I really can't believe you can just scan these guys. It's so funny. I'd never tried. After that first one, I thought they gave you that first one because you couldn't scan them again. So... take out this turret. Now, as you see... you can see him hanging on the ceiling. He's not there. See, you can't scan them when they're in full cloak, but when they attack you, they come out of cloaking a little bit, and then you can scan them, apparently. See, the Metroids are back in the tanks. I could break them out if I want to, but I don't. Stealth pirates are actually easier than regular pirates because they do not have ranged weapons. This Metroid is not back, but his scan still is, I believe? No, it was only there that one time. Okay. Head back through the control tower. Enemies will be back, but I think the doors will be unlocked this time, so I don't need to fight them. Yep. It starts with the air pirates this time. Just head right on through. Lights are out in here too, but the hologram still works. And there are pirates. Let's save it up. Save station still works. Lights are still on in here, oddly enough. Head back out. Ignore the pirates in there. This cave, which had the beetles, now has the drones. And now, Metroids have been added to this room for some odd reason. So this tank that we couldn't get in before, this cordite tank, now I can super missile it. It has a missile upgrade. These guys, once I get the plasma beam later, are really easy because you can vaporize them while they're still on the ceiling. And I could do it now if I used a super missile, but it's a waste. Just use one and take them it that way. As you can see, missiles also have poorer tracking. I believe they still do track somewhat, but like the wave beam, they are not going to fully track like they do in regular combat visor. Moving on. So, that's the starter room, and as you can see, there was a pirate there, a stealth pirate that I would have had a chance to scan. So, I'm wrong in multiple ways. Now it's kind of funny, these guys will run at you and they can't go through the door because because reasons, I guess. You know, it's their door, they made the door, and they can't walk through. Enemies can't leave the room that they're in. Okay, well, I'm gonna ignore him. This room here still has the power. And now we're out of the base. To my knowledge, I don't think we ever need to go back into that space pirate base. Thankfully, I don't really like it in there. So we're gonna save up. And we're gonna go fight the boss. So if I break this, there's nothing you can really see. Doesn't do anything. with missiles, but if I go into thermal, there's a power conduit. Hit that, doors up, and on through. You want to make sure you replenish your missiles for this boss. This boss will take a lot of missiles. This is a cool boss. This is one of my favorite bosses in the game. We're on a little tunnel here. I don't understand how the pirates accessed this tunnel, or, you know, what this little bridge is for. There's a lot of stuff in this game that only seems to be there just to get Samus through. So, here we are in the quarantine cave. Pretty cool looking room, big. There's something there. I can't scan it. As soon as I touch down, we get a cutscene. So, clearly this is one of the more unique bosses in the game. Let's give him a scan. This is Thardus, animated sentient creature of stone charged with phase-on radiation. Phase-on radiation negates auto-targeting systems, can't lock onto him. If I use a different visor, I can lock on. Chaotic nature of phase-on leads to instability. Let's see, he can block you in ice, he can basically do Morph Ball. This is an odd boss in that he's never really explained how Phazon was able to turn a bunch of rocks into a sentient creature. It's never explained again in any of the other games. Never happens again. This is the only instance. So as you can see, he's got a shockwave. He'll shoot little rocks at you, and you want the power visor on, or the power beam on for that, because it's faster. You shoot them out of the way. You can lock onto those. As you see, when they blow up, they are phase-on rocks, and I cannot target him, but if I do that, I can. Thermal visor you get... Oh, and as you see, the phase-on rocks, when they blow up, they overload your visor. So, if I shoot a super missile at that, it overheats that bit. And you get the phase-on exposed. Super missile on each bit, takes it out. Takes out a chunk of his health. Now he's going to go into Morph Ball, essentially, and chase you around the room. And you have to use the boost to get out of the way. You can kind of escape him if you hide in the corner over here. And as you see, if I let that hit me, I get frozen. Yeah, if you pop into a little corner like this where he can't fit, then you're essentially safe. So, it's just a matter of hitting the different points on him. Now, because of the way his body is built, some of the points are going to be hard to hit because you will end up hitting other parts of him when you're trying to shoot. Raises his arms like that, it's a really good time to do it. There we go. He's almost at half health now. It's an on-camera needle. Okay, so this is phase 2. So he is going to summon a bunch of fog, essentially. Oh, well. Oh, I see. I have fog off to make the game faster, so I didn't anticipate that with the emulator. if we were on the GameCube, right now this whole arena would be covered in fog. And I will probably go back in and give y'all a view of what that actually looks like. I'll find some footage of it. It doesn't change the fight too much, it just makes it a little harder to see him sometimes. Makes it a little harder to track him when he's doing that. So as you can see, he can't really hit you over here. I'm getting very lucky with those shots. We've got 2 more hits. Now this is where in the fight he clears up the fog. And so normally it would go back to looking the way it does now. First world emulator problems. You can actually shoot the little bits of him while he's rolling around. It's difficult to do, you can't get a good shot. As you see, we've got the center of him now. This is, I believe, the final piece in normal mode. In hard mode, you have to take out twice as many of his rocks. It takes a lot of missiles, and by the end of it, he's not many rocks left. As you see, he's doing Morph Ball a lot. Takes more hits than usual. Take that bit out. So he's almost done. One more shot. Bye. That's the fight. I've always liked that little rock. Ping Samus in the head. This is our spider ball. So, get a bunch of power-ups. The spider ball. This is going to do a couple things. First of all, it makes the morph ball look really cool. You get these cool green patches on the side, turns my energy trail to green. And so that's my way out. If I hop over here, now if I hold R while I'm against these tracks, I can ride on them. And I should also be able to get a scan from them now. Let's see. Oh, I thought it counted as a research. I guess not. Maybe I already got the research? I don't know. Oh well. Head back up. Another little tunnel. Don't really care about those guys. Okay. This elevator takes us down to Magmore. This, if I head up here, you can see there's an ice beam door. Can't do anything with that. But that's the next power-up we're gonna go get. And that is back in the Chozo Ruins. This puts us way out here, away from anything. Forward is progression. This way is a save point.